When I was in fifth grade, my parents moved us to a city called Markham, Ontario. We originally were living in Scarborough, but my dad got a different job. It was just a lot more convenient for him to move to Markham, and because of that, I had to change schools. And there was an elementary school that I was brought up in, eventually having to go to one that was give or take 5-10 minutes away from the new home, which made a lot more sense. However, if you can imagine, like any new kid at school, I didn't fit in right away. Now, this school was quite unique that I've been picked on throughout my life, but usually by, you get like one kid or maybe two kids. But this school, like I said, was very unique. In this particular school, I was not only picked on by a kid, but kids, a whole lot of them. And I also had not teachers pick on me, but I would say blatant neglect. They didn't care. Not even my own teacher. If my own teacher didn't care, that was upsetting. But it was when I saw another teacher not really pay any mind, in fact, embarrass me in front of her class, that was a whole other feeling of disappointment. When I arrived at that school, it was a split class, a grade 5 and 6. I sat beside another kid, and I don't know what got into me to say this, but I looked at him and I was just trying to introduce myself, and he had the most, I'm talking like luscious eyelashes. Like if he blinked, it would, it would whoosh, like it was beautiful. And I'm a heterosexual man. I have a wife, but it's still like I didn't care. I was comfortable enough to look at it, admire it. Perhaps I should have stuck there, but instead I turn to him and I say, "Hey, you got some really pretty eyelashes." And he just looked at me, kind of just stared, gave me this kind of disgust face. I can't remember what he said, but must have been something along the lines of, "Okay." It did not take long. That recess, I go out, I don't know anyone, so I'm just kind of standing around. And in the distance, I hear a group of the kids yell, "Pretty boy." And I look over, and they're just cackling like a bunch of hyenas from Lion King. Just cackling away. They kept calling me pretty boy over and over and over, which eventually became my nickname at that school. As a gesture of how much they enjoyed the ridicule, or ridiculing me, they sent over a messenger. Like a little boy just kind of walked over and he handed me this muddy shoe. And I said, "Well, what do you want me to do with this?" And he simply replied, "I don't know. They told me to give it to you." And I said, "Well, I don't want it." Send it back. And the torment continued for some time, to the point where I snapped and I approached the group and I pushed the main kid. I'm not going to say his name. I remember his name, but I'm not going to say it. Pushing him around, telling him to stop. And the other kids were saying, "Relax, relax, relax." Like as if I'm the one like, "Whoa, dude, you take it easy." Well, anyways, while that was happening, there was another boy in that class. His name is Bruce. I remember his name to this day. Because out of all the kids, he was the only one that, after seeing me get ridiculed and essentially be the fresh meat target to the school, neglected by the teachers, laughed at by peers, and yet he decided to befriend me. He started walking with me, sitting beside me in class. We started playing games outside during recess. We shared laughs in the classroom, and eventually he became my buddy in that school. Not only did he become my buddy, he was accepting some of the collateral that was received because I was a target. He became, by proxy, a target as well. But he did not budge. He did not move. He stuck by me throughout that whole time at that elementary school. Eventually, the bullying got so bad, my parents took me on and they actually had to drive me back to my original school where I had more familiar friends. But what he did for me was something that, even at 31 years old, I remember, I cherish, and I think about him from time to time. Because he taught me not just about loyalty, but for whatever reason, something spoke to him that day or that moment that he decided to reach out and risk his own social hierarchy, his own peace that he could have had. And he was willing to throw all of that away to relieve me of the loneliness. And I couldn't understand it, especially in grade 5. You can remember being in grade 5. It's important to be a part of the group. It sucks to be on the outside. You want to be included, you want to be involved. And I know some of the people who are laughing at me were just doing it to just not be targets themselves. Doesn't excuse it, but I totally understand. He taught me something deeper. The value of staying within your center. Regardless of what other people are thinking, what other people are feeling. He stayed within what he felt was right. To this day, that loyalty, that essence carried with me. I've stayed with my same professor, my jiu-jitsu professor, for the entire time. It's very common for people to jump facilities. I've stayed with my professor for the entire 13 years. I've only slept with one woman, my wife. He moved me so deeply that I just felt like I needed to share it in today's video and to extract the deeper meaning behind it. And the deeper meaning to me that I want to share is, you don't know whose lives you could have changed by what you've said, by what you've done in one moment. You could have included somebody into a group at a party. And maybe for you, it's just something small. Bring them in, let them hang out, or let her hang out and have her feel less lonely. Maybe for you it was small, but maybe for that person, what you did was you rescued them. You showed them a grace, a benevolent act that they will remember forever. And I always recycle that into a loop pattern, as I often call my videos, where you recycle thoughts, images, and emotions into a loop to reinforce a new belief, a new action that you want to take. Or to remind yourself of what you are. And I use that story. The next time I'm at my facility and there's a new member that walks through the door, to include them, to bring them in, to show them that I am accepting of them. If I'm at the grocery store and someone's looking like they're having a bad day, I can never know for sure, but I just go by my sense. Just to give them a hello. Make some light humor about something they're looking at. In hopes that maybe I can do for someone what Bruce did for me back in 5th grade. Thank you for listening. If you want assistance on uncovering the stories that control your lives, and you want to build more awareness of your actions as to why you self-sabotage, why you have the fear of failure, why you're afraid to get close to people, if you want to understand how all that works, and you want tools that I've done myself, click the first link down below, download my free PDF guide on how to do that. And of course, doing this alone is very difficult. So if you want personal guidance from me who has walked the path and has now helped other people do the exact same thing, uncovering the stories and then building strategies to integrate and to reinterpret and to author your own life. So no longer are you controlled by these stories. Click the second button below, book a guidance call with me. And as I said in the last video, I no longer have one secret project, but two. And I'll be revealing the second one first before I release the first one. I made that complicated for no reason, but the hell with it. That's just the way it goes. So stay tuned. I'm so excited to reveal it to you. And it's something that I'm putting work in and to hope that it's what you guys need, as it's something that I wished I had during my time of deep pain, to put it lightly. I'll see you guys in the next video.